Welcome to WION Wallet. This is Sumit Chaturvedi. Let's begin with our top headlines. Well, UK's Prime Minister Theresa May faces fresh challenges ahead of the three-day debate to commence formal Brexit negotiations. With the aims to change its poor image, Tata Motors can finally say goodbye to Ratan Tata's dream car Nano. And Qatar Airways launches the world's longest flight from Doha to Auckland, taking off 8 minutes early on Sunday. In a bid to check generation of black money, a steep penalty awaits those accepting cash in excess of ₹3 lakh. Well, let's begin with our top story. UK's Prime Minister Theresa May faces fresh challenges ahead of three-day debate to commence formal Brexit negotiations as lawmakers from her own Conservative Party criticize her strategy ahead of voting process. Well, rebel Conservative leaders have argued that the Parliament must regain its right to tell the government to get a better Brexit deal if one of the tabled Parliament is found unsatisfactory. Well, Theresa May faces a tough challenge as far as this is concerned within her own party ahead of Brexit negotiations because of a slim majority of 16 votes in the Parliament.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, I'm delighted to be here by welcoming the focus of the General Assembly on this critical agenda.
Well, the super luxury car maker Maserati's North American operations are recalling at least 40,000 Maserati cars. Well, this is due to defect in some kind of airbags. Well, the model that are being recalled are Gilbey and Quattroporte. Well, this is being recalled because there are some fires that are leading to some kind of accidents. Well, adjusting the front seats could potentially lead to electrical shorts in Maserati cars and fires in those vehicles from model years 2014 through 2017. Well, the most recent models of the vehicles have suggested retail prices ranging from $71,000 to $150,000. Well, these are the third major recall efforts for Maserati, which is owned by Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. In the past year, in May, the luxury automaker recalled from China almost 20,000 Quattroporte and Gilbey models produced between 2013 and 2014 due to problem that could affect the airbags and other parts of the car. And now WION has an exclusive interaction with Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, where he has talked about budget, demonetization and the upcoming election. Take a look.
अर्थव्यवस्था की पहली आवश्यकता है कि कृषि क्षेत्र और ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में पैसा डालें। दूसरी आवश्यकता यह है कि डिफेंस और सिक्योरिटी के लिए खर्चा बढ़ाएं। तीसरी आवश्यकता है कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे भरपूर खर्चा करें, सोशल सेक्टर्स में खर्चा करें। चौथी आवश्यकता यह है कि फिस्कल कंसोलिडेशन से हम लोग भटके ना। पांचवी जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी उद्देश्य था और मैंने भी कहा कि छोटे और ईमानदार टैक्स पेयर को रिलीफ, एसएमई सेक्टर को रिलीफ और जो नॉन फाइलर हैं, जो टैक्स नहीं भरता, जिसको भरना चाहिए, उसको टैक्स नेट में लाना। हर एक शब्द बजट का इस दिशा के अंदर देश को ले जाता है और इस दिशा के साथ किसका क्या झगड़ा हो सकता है, इस पे तो बहुत बड़ी बहस की गुंजाइश भी नहीं है। कोई ऐसा वर्ग नहीं है जिसका हमने टैक्स बहुत बढ़ाया हो। आज तक बजट इस देश में आते थे, अगले दिन खबर बनती थी कि किस चीज की कीमत बढ़ी, किस चीज की घटी। हमने इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस को छुआ ही नहीं। जब जीएसटी आएगा तो तभी उसको देख लेंगे। और दूसरा, जो डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस थे उसमें लोग प्रवेश करें और टैक्स बेस बढ़े और एंट्री पॉइंट के ऊपर एक आकर्षण रहे कि बहुत कम टैक्स देकर मैं टैक्स नेट में आ सकता हूं। इसका हम लोगों ने एक प्रयास किया। 5 लाख से अधिक इनकम डिस्क्लोज केवल 76 लाख लोग करते हैं। उसमें से 56 लाख वेतनभोगी हैं,
तो उनको तो देना ही है टैक्स,
उनको तो टैक्स देना ही है। 20 लाख है पूरे व्यवसाय, व्यापार, प्रोफेशनल्स की दुनिया जो टैक्स देते हैं। और इसलिए सबसे अधिक शोर इसी वर्ग में मचता है। इस संख्या को मुझे एक्सपैंड करना है और छोटे व्यक्ति जो एंटर करता है, जो 50-60 हज़ार रुपया महीना कमाता है, उसमें से अगर 500-700-800 रुपये टैक्स देकर वो ईमानदारी की जिंदगी सर ऊंचा करके जी सकता है, देन व्हाई नॉट। और उसके ऊपर बोझ डालना इसका कोई लाभ नहीं। देश में रोजगार पैदा करता है एमएसएमई सेक्टर। तो एमएसएमई प्लस यानी 50 करोड़ टर्नओवर तक देश में जो लाखों हजारों की संख्या में फैक्ट्रियां हैं, उन सब का मैंने टैक्स 5% कम किया कि ज्यादा कमाइए और उस कमाई में से ज्यादा निवेश कीजिए। देखिए, कांग्रेस देश भर में सुकड़ती जा रही है, बहुत कम संख्या हो गई, कोई आकर्षण ना लीडरशिप का है ना पार्टी का है। कहीं कहीं क्षेत्रीय पार्टियां हैं, वहां थोड़ा बहुत मुकाबला हो जाएगा, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि अधिकतर स्थानों पर हमारी पार्टी और उसके साथी निश्चित रूप से जीतेंगे।
So here you heard FM exclusive. Now handset maker Micromax is setting up a $75 million independent fund that will focus on investing in domestic and international consumer internet companies. In the last 2 years, Micromax has already invested in about 10 startups including Axigo, Ghana, Healthify.me and Scandid. The fund Orbis Capital aims to raise $75 million in the next 12-18 months, backed by Micromax as an investor and strategic partner. The fund will also focus on investing in consumer internet companies that both locally and internationally focus on net. Orbis Capital is in the process of building an advisory board alongside the investment team and has already brought on board leading investors and entrepreneurs. R.S. Kumar, who spearheaded Micromax Global Investment Program, will lead Orbis Capital along with the existing team. Now to aviation, where Qatar Airways has launched the world's longest scheduled commercial service with its inaugural flight from Doha to Auckland taking off 8 minutes early on Sunday. Well, the Boeing 777 flight will take 16 hours and 20 minutes, pass over 10 time zones, 5 countries and travel 15,000 kilometers before reaching Auckland in New Zealand. But even that flying flight may be looked on jealously by passengers on the return flight, which due to high altitude winds will take 17 hours and 30 minutes. This will make it the world's longest passenger service in terms of flying time. Well, Qatar Airways did not immediately have a figure for the number of passengers who boarded on Sunday, but it is believed these are 4 pilots and 15 crew on the plane in March. Last year, Emirates Airline had launched what was then thought to be the world's longest non-stop scheduled commercial flight with a service from Dubai to Auckland spanning around 14,200 kilometers. In a bid to check generation of black money, a steep penalty awaits those accepting cash in excess of Rs 3 lakh beginning April 1 to settle any transaction. Well, a ban on transaction of more than Rs 3 lakh has been proposed in the budget for 2017-18. Well, Indian Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhia said the penalty for doing cash transaction will be steep and the receiver will have to pay an amount equivalent to the cash received. So if someone buys an expensive watch for cash, it is the shopkeeper who will have to pay the tax. Demonetization brought to account the stock of black money, and now the government wants to stop future generation of the same. The government will track all large cash transactions and also curb the avenues of conspicuous consumption through cash. Well, people with large sum of unaccountable money usually spend it on holidaying or buying luxury items like cars, watches and jewelry. The new cash curbs will mean that such spending avenues are curtailed, disincentivized people from generating black money. Adhia said that previously notified rule of quoting ban for any cash transaction above Rs 2 lakh also stays. Now shifting gears, remaining non-committal over the future course of Nano, Tata Motors said the decisions will be taken in alignment with the board as the time and the need appears. As it prepares to be future ready, Tata Motors is finding it difficult to answer queries on whether the Nano will be a part of the journey ahead, as the issue is proving to be a sensitive one. involving those at the top level of the Tata Group. The company has adopted a new passenger vehicle strategy with an aim to achieve sustainable financial performance and to be amongst the top 3 PV makers in India by 2019. Its top management is shy to elaborate what role will Ratan Tata's dream project play going forward. Ousted Tata chairman Cyrus Mistry had alleged that Nano project was responsible for the losses of rupees 1,000 crore. January's 2,27,000 increase in US payrolls followed a 1.5 lakh rise in December, while the jobless rate rose to 4.8% and average hourly earnings grew 2.5% from January 2016, the weakest since August. While the data presenting the final figures under President Barack Obama indicate the job market is still enjoying steady growth, though isn't tight enough yet to result in a bonanza for worker pay. While analysts expect hiring to cool as the economy nears full employment, President Donald Trump has pledged to bring people back into the workforce and boost wages further through tax cut, infrastructure investment and looser regulation. Microsoft's India-born Chief Executive Officer Satya Nadella will be in India later this month to address a conference on future decoding in Mumbai. While Nadella has visited India a number of times since assuming the leadership role, this visit takes on added significance as the global debate on US clampdown on visas and its impact on flow of skilled manpower rages. Nadella is among the first few technology titans to oppose the restrictions on immigration by the new US administration. Well, it's time for a break at WION Wallet. After the break, we will continue with the markets today and globally. Welcome to WION Wallet. Now, after a flat close on Friday, Indian markets have opened in a positive territory today, with Sensex gaining 150 points. Well, however, Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy review on Feb 8 will all eyes are on this now. Well, Asian markets, however, opened quite higher today. Nikkei was trading mildly higher up, about 0.1%, led by its banking and security components. Kospi was flat in early morning trade. A strong US jobs report helped the Dow post its best day of 2017 with a 180-point rally and Nasdaq to end at record high on Friday. Well, financials jumped around 2%. The US economy added around 2.3 lakh jobs in January versus estimated 1.75 lakh jobs. European markets also closed higher following the US food and beverages stocks were among the best performers on Friday, while the US dollar remained defensive amid uncertainty about the Trump administration's dollar policy. It slipped versus the yen. In commodity trade, crude prices rose after the United States imposed sanctions on some Iranian individuals and entities. Gold ahead steady above $1220. Now let's talk to our analyst Lavlesh Sharma, who's joining us from Indore. Good morning, Mr. Lavlesh. Can you hear us? Okay, how are the markets panning out today? How do you see them panning out today? Well, they have opened quite well in green. Sensex up around 210 point and Nifty is also up. How do you see them trading today?
Very good morning. See, the momentum is quite bullish. Not just domestic cues, the global cues are also very bullish. We have seen some smart money flowing into the market, though we have seen a exuberant rally of almost 1,000 points for now. So there can be some kind of a short-term, cooling off. There might be some kind of a short-term correction where people are eager to book their profits. So this will be basically a range play. Going forward, I think 1,800 still comes out to be as a very specific resistance, while on the downside the risk is higher. So at this point of time, I do think that we might enter into a particular kind of a range play where it will be broadly 150 to 200 points.
Also now, all eyes are on RBI's the policy review on Feb 8, though analysts are pointing out that there could be now a status quo. What's your assessment of RBI's policy review on Feb 8?
See, even if there is any kind of a good news for the traders, it has been discounted. I mean, we have seen quite 500, 600 points in Bank Nifty itself. In the last 1 week, we have seen Bank Nifty outperforming the broader indices. So I think going forward, even if there is some good, good things about the banks and there might be some kind of a rate cut, I think it is already being discounted in the price, and we are seeing some kind of an upside, prices being capped at 20,900, 20,800. So we are near on the topping out pattern. Right now, I don't think any good news for the banks would trigger any more further momentum, because we have already seen kind of a very bullish run in last 8 to 10 trading sessions.
Well, markets have been in positive territory, especially post-budget. So you see that they are going to now keep up with this positive momentum going forward too?
Yes, basically, if you see, last time we made a bottom on 29 February 2016, and we just witnessed a budget, and from 6826 we seen a kind of a 30 to 35% rally when we topped out at somewhat 8968. That was one of the rallies which happened post-budget. So this is somewhat we are repeating history, is repeating itself. The momentum is quite bullish. We have already seen a 1,000 points rally. The momentum will be bullish, 8900, 8950 if taken out on the closing basis. I think going forward we may also see 9,400, while on the banks, the Nifty Bank, we may see 21,900. But previous tops need to be taken out, though valuations are at a very high level. But yes, momentum will be bullish.
And now mid-cap has touched a new high. What is the strategy on that mid-cap now going forward?
The participation has been broadly from every indices. If you look at mid-cap at 4,100, or if you look at infra at 3,050. Basically, even if you want to have a sector-specific approach, mid-caps are somewhat still, at the higher end of the prices. Though if someone wants to look at stock-specific or sector-wise, I think Nifty IT is somewhat at very good levels right now, with a decent correction of almost 25% from the higher side. So Nifty IT at 10,000 odd levels still looks good. If someone wants to go for another sector, I think infra is bottoming out, reality space is bottoming out, DLF, HDIL, IB real estate, these are also bottoming out. So these two sectors should be in focus for coming trading months.
Well, now moving to global markets, it's been said that now that US market correction is around the corner, as it's been said by a Wall Street strategist. What's your take there?
See, we have during this whole negative, period of Trump winning, the money has been there into the market, and if you see, going by the volume analysis, a lot of volume has been into banking space and IT, specifically focusing on semiconductor space. These two have seen quite an exuberant rally. This particular rally from almost 18,000, 17,800 level to 20,000 has been exuberant. I don't think any kind of a correction in the short term would be as drastic. Any dip in the DJIA towards 19,500, 19,100, which actually encourage investors who have missed this particular rally, and it will again be a buy on dips strategy.
And dollar is under pressure because of Trump's uncertain policies. What's your outlook there? How do you see dollar panning out versus yen versus Indian rupee in the coming few days?
See, dollar has given a quite a good range breakout from almost 91 to 99 for over the past few months. It has given somewhat a breakout of the new trajectory. This is something which has been called as, discounting all the worst case scenarios. There has been some uncertainties, there has been some policies and comments which has hurt the USD, but I believe somewhat 9900 is now very strong support. We are seeing a new range play in the DX, particularly from 100 to 105. Any short-term correction towards 99.5 to 100, I think we will see some kind of a base formation, and we will inch towards 103 to 104 going forward.
Now, Mr. Sharma, coming back to Indian markets, there's a news which can come today is that Toyota and Suzuki can announce partnership. So how does it impact a particular stock from auto sector in the market, which is Maruti Suzuki?
Maruti has been one of the outperforming stocks. If you look at Maruti's chart, from 1200 in the last 5 years, it has given almost 6 times return, and currently at 6,000 plus level. I still find it quite useful, quite interested interested play, because at current levels, I think going by the wave analysis, the upside is still there in Maruti. Recent corrections has been utilized at 5850, 5900. The numbers weren't so good, but yes, on the top line they have improved. I think Maruti is one of the stocks which may see somewhat 6,900, 7,100. Auto itself is somewhat supplementary. When you look at auto space, particularly bullish run in auto does imply that money is being getting into the market, because this is these are interest rate sensitive stocks as well. Auto itself is a very good space, though with some kind of a large caps like Maruti. Ashok Leyland on the other hand is looking very good at 100 odd levels. I think it has the potential to set a tone for somewhat 115 to 116.
And coming to commodities, how do you see the crude and gold panning out? What's outlook for these two important commodities?
Yeah, see, the inverse relationship that we have seen in the past over a few years, that when gold is going up, crude is going down, this has come off to ease now. Crude, gold both have rallied significantly in last few trading sessions. If you look at the gold from 1,125 to almost 1,200 levels, there is some kind of a resistance at 1,225. If we see closing of gold and breaking of this particular level on the closing basis, you might see gold stretching its rally towards somewhat 1280, 1275. But if you look at crude oil prices, it is still sustaining the $51 mark. Now, the too much talked about inverted head and shoulder is being sustained. The neckline is being sustained. So I think 54, 55 is a near-term resistance. But if we take it out, we are seeing somewhat at $58 in coming months.
And Mr. Sharma, can you briefly tell us what could be the macro parameters which should be looked out or should be very important going forward for Indian markets?
When you talk about Indian market, there wasn't much things in the budget. It was plain. It was focused on policies, and which the policies has been implemented in the past. They must carry out a smooth functioning going forward. I think if you look at the macros, I would still look at banking as a particularly space which has ability to outperform and lead the particular rally. Coming with that, banking, a lot of accounts have been opened. This has significantly boosted the net revenue. So when you look at net revenues, I still believe infrastructure and construction space will be the theme next year. With that, you are also seeing some kind of digitalization. So any particular company or stocks which are focused towards social media and cloud computing, these will be also the sector which will be in focus. All in all, I still believe that this particular rally in the market is going to see quite an exuberant upside, more upside. If we need to take out the short-term resistance, while on the longer term we are still in an intact bull trend. Going forward, Nifty may see 9,400, 9,500, while Bank Nifty also see somewhat 22,000 to 23,000 in the next couple of months.
Well, thanks so much for talking to us, Mr. Sharma, today. Well, that's all for WION Wallet today, but stay tuned to our more news and updates on WION.